Well, hello everybody. How y'all doing today? Tuesday. Tuesday's an odd day, isn't it? It isn't the beginning of the week. It isn't the middle of the week. It's not the end of the week. It's just kind of that odd little day after Monday. But in my world, all days are good. So hope yours is too. I've been out morning walk, watermelon juice, back into it. I bought a couple of watermelons this morning, and yeah, all is right with the world again. Today I want to talk about transition to a raw food diet, cold turkey versus slower. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you don't get unsubscribed. That happens on YouTube from time to time. Transition to a raw food diet. It really has to do with personality type. Some people claim they've gone cold turkey overnight, and maybe that works for some people. I would say I'll keep pounding that same old now is the time, summertime message. If you were going to do it at any time, go cold turkey, now would be the time to do it because the weather's right. Most people have more abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables in their area, and yeah, this is just the time to do it. But my question is always like, why? Yes, some people will be able to do it, but I mean, are you doing this to prove something to yourself? Are you doing it as some sort of a challenge? Or are you doing this as something to improve your health? Are you doing this, are you looking at this like something that you're going to do for the rest of your life? I think sometimes it's an age thing. I see these people, they get all excited and they're talking about how it can be done cold turkey. And I'm like, can be, yes, but why? What's the big rush? Unless you have some sort of serious chronic disease, something that's like about to kill you, that you really have to get down into some serious detox. What's the hurry? What's the hurry? I mean, okay, I just go through my case. I was 48 years old when I even started hearing about plant-based. I mean, I knew about it, but when I really started thinking about it. So, at 48, I could have looked at it like this. I've been eating a standard American diet. I've been drinking. I've been doing all these things for 48 years. The question, if I wanted to play devil's advocate with the people that are gung-ho, you can go it overnight, you should go it overnight, I went cold turkey, blah, 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 is give me some specifics. What are going to be those added bonuses? Like, in other words, what does that person get? Let's just use my circumstances. 48-year-old dude decides to go raw. What health benefits would I have? Would I have magically learned to levitate? I mean, is there something I would have gotten if I had gone completely raw? The second I heard about it at 48, wherever I was at that point, if I'd have gone completely raw that minute, or let's say it took me 6 months, 8 months, a year. What are and I want details. I don't want any of this, well, it'll do this, kind of this woo-woo stuff that I hear from raw folk all the time. I'm like, I really want to know, like, would I be 1 year later, would I have some sort of spectacular health by going overnight as opposed to transitioning? No, I don't think so. And I think the thing is even people that maybe, like I say, maybe you can do it, but it's just like you're taking on an extra challenge. Look at the numbers out there. Look at the people you're talking to. Look at comments you see in places you go. Look at how many people are actually struggling to do this easy lifestyle. So many people say it's easy. People in groups are talking this and that, but so few people are actually really doing it. So maybe, there is something to not being so hard-headed and like locking in the lifestyle. I just like to be solid, I like to be solid before I move on to another level. It's like if you want to equate it to school, learning mathematics, learning a foreign language. If you're in Spanish or in French or in Italian 101 in college and you don't get the basic stuff, you're always going to be struggling down the line. You can usually stumble through, but you're always going to be stumbling down the line. In other words, there's a progression. When you get into it, you learn these basic things first, and you learn and you build and you build and you build on that. I think it's the same way with the transition. And I think you have a more realistic shot of making it if you have a good, thoughtful transition. Now, here's where it's not black and white, and here's where I think sometimes too many people are a little gung-ho and they try to jump in feet first all the way from the beginning. But then on the other side, there's the people that just kind of get comfortable. I mean, they're, once again, I think they're the ones that just kind of like to be part of a group. They sort of want to do it, but they're moving at the pace of a snail. They use little words like baby steps. I'm going at my own pace. I'm taking it slow. And a lot of times the people with that mentality, they're just fooling themselves. They're making excuses for doing, like, it's like they're by saying they're in transition, they kind of feel like, well, I'm doing something for my health, I'm moving towards something, but they're moving so slow and sometimes actually fooling themselves and not moving at all, that, well, then that's not very effective either. I think you find a rate of transition that's comfortable for you, but you do always want to be moving forward. You always want to be progressing. It can be a matter of, like, if you're reductionist, if you're just like, you're slowly but steadily eliminating. I'm eliminating this, a little bit later I'm eliminating this, but you're seeing regular progress. I'm adding more in. I'm adding more fruits and vegetables in every day. So you're constantly moving forward. You're not just like stuck in transition. Transition is an active phase. You're not just like sitting there waiting for things to happen. You're working your way through it, and if you do it correctly, then you're going to be a little bit more solid on your path once you get there. Now, the reason I say I'm not a big fan of jumping in both feet cold turkey right from the beginning is that we make so many mistakes in the beginning, and I think there's a good chance that you don't get a realistic view of this lifestyle. In other words, like, you make so many mistakes in the beginning, especially by trying to just jump in and go fully raw. I know I did, not eating enough food, that you could have some bad experiences that sour you on the lifestyle, sour you on this diet, and it could just, push you away, or make you less interested, or cause you not to succeed on this. So it takes a while. It takes a while to figure this out. It takes a while to figure out what's going on in your body. It takes a while to kind of retrain your body to eating in a different way. I mean, because there's not a lot of calories in the food we eat as compared to how dense the calories were in a lot of the things you were eating before. So sometimes that's one of the biggest mistakes in the beginning, is not eating enough, and not eating enough leads to a lot of problems. That's where people usually spin out and start making bad choices. So in my opinion, there's just too much to figure out in the beginning. Could you theoretically do it? Yeah, I was thinking about that as I was getting ready for this video. If you had somebody that really you trusted, and they knew what they were doing in this lifestyle, and you were there with them, like you were there with them, they're feeding you, okay, you need to eat this, why don't you do this? Maybe you could do it. But I would still, even like that, I would recommend the person transitioned, the person they were helping, a little bit slower than just cold turkey. But like I say, once again, we're all individuals, and your mileage may vary on this. So I'm not saying this is the way it has to be, or you're not going to succeed if you do it a different way. Now, if you're going all the way from like standard American diet and trying to go to raw, I would definitely say yes, don't try to go from the standard American diet to fully raw, cold turkey overnight. But, and I know, and this, I'm not being heavy-handed on this. Maybe that doesn't work for some people. I would say that you could really, it's a lot easier if you're keeping the cooked food as an option in there. I would say you could almost go vegan overnight. Like, it just matters your motivation, and that's why I'm saying, I always say, make the ethical connection as well, because that will reinforce what you're doing. But definitely, if you really just, with a little bit of effort, if you really were motivated by seeing that and made that ethical connection. I totally believe that you can go vegan overnight, but if you can't, don't put the pressure on yourself. But I would say this part: try to get off the animal product. If somebody that's we're going all the way from standard American diet or still eating the animal products, get those out. Don't even think about the raw until you kind of get that out. Get the animal products out, get the processed food out, and then start kind of trying to work on the raw thing. But yeah, in the end, I mean, it's just like I think you have a better always give yourself in everything in life the best chance to succeed. And don't be so, cocky. I think sometimes it's just cockiness. Well, I can do it. I mean, okay, but like I say, give yourself the best chance to succeed, because once again, I don't think there's going to ever be a difference if you went raw overnight versus it took you 6 months to get there. I'm sorry, I just can't see any major health advantages. Once again, unless you had something. Now, like I say, if I had a life-threatening illness, I would go to the top. I would go to the top of the healing pyramid. But that's just me, and that's just how serious I would be about healing my body. But in general, take your time. Just like I say, I'm always saying, think long term. This is not a diet. This is not something we're trying to do for 6 months to lose a few pounds to clean up. This is a long term thing. This is the marathon. So, just settle in with that mentality. If you were running a marathon, I know I use that a lot, but just think of break that down a little bit. If you're out doing, if you're doing sprints, you're going all out. Yes, you're going all out. But that marathon, you don't take off running as fast as you can. You pace yourself, and you pace yourself efficiently to make it to the end, and to make it to the end in the best time that you can. But anyhow, just my 2 cents worth. Hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.